What do you want me to do first? Any,
Georgia.
Well, anyway, I'll tell you. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3. Didn't leave much for Ma or me, just his old guitar. And then he went and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought it was quite a joke. I'll tell you when to laugh. He must have thought it was quite a joke, and he got a lot of laughs from lots of folk, and seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some girl would giggle and I get red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fist got hard and my wits got keen. I just rode from town to hide my shame. Well, I made a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the honky-tonks and bars, and I killed a man that gave me that awful name. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July, and I just hit town and my throat was dry, and I thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. On an old, I'm getting into it now, aren't I? On an old saloon on a street of mud, there at the table, dealing studs, had a dirty, mangy dog named me Sue. Well, I knew that snake from my old sweet dad, from a worn-out picture that my mother had. I knew that scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and grey and old. I looked at him and my blood ran cold. I said, "How do you do? My name is Sue. You're gonna die!" Yeah, that's what I told him. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, I come up with a knife, cut off a piece of my hair. Well, I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking in the couch and in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I tell you, I fought tough for men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. Well, I heard him laugh and then I heard him cuss, and he went for his gun, but I pulled mine first. He just stood there looking at me and he smiled. He said, "Son," or it might have been "son," "this world is rough, and if a man's gonna make it, you gotta be tough. I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I give you that name and said goodbye. I knew you had to get tough or die. And it's that name to help to make you strong. Well, I think you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in the gut and the spit in the eye, because I'm the son of a bitch and ain't you, Sue. Well, what could I do? I got all choked up and I threw down my gun and called him my pa, and he called me his son, and I come away with a different point of view. Oh, well, I think about him now and then, every time I try and every time I win. If I ever have a son, I'm going to call him Math. Anything but Sue. I still hate that name. Thank you. I'll give him a fiver to say that, boy. Boy, let me tell you what. Bow, bow, bow. Do you notice I do the music as well? Well, like a shiny fiddle made of gold, and it, well, you know, when the devil finished, Johnny said, "You're a pretty good old son. Sit down in that chair right there, and let me show you how it's done." He played "Round the Mountain, Run, Boy, Run." Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicks in the bed, found a big enough dough. Where's Clive? He knows this one. Johnny's a dog by no child, no. Whatever. Well, the devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat. And he laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again. As I told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been." He played "Round the Mountain, Run, Boy, Run." Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chickens in the bread, pound picking out dough.
You're going to wish he's never
Granny's a
started.
dog by no child, no.
What was that dude he went to and they all bundled
it.
on the fucking stage? Singing them bones. What's that guy that went from Hampshire to
That's why it was
Avon?
called
Thank you,
Bones for a
Stan.
while.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Right, here's one that you
Broke his
might,
arm in 3
you
places.
might like it, you might not, but you
Broke his
know.
arm in 3 places.
I gotta normally say I'm having a good time. Sun rays bringing the dawning. Sun rays. God, fuck that! I'm really getting out. Huh? Yeah. Anybody got an inhaler I can borrow, like? What have I done? Right, I do make this the last one, like. Forget what it was now. Oh yeah. Every morning at the mine, you can see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245. He kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. Everybody knew he didn't get no lip, the Big John. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John. Well, nobody knew where John called home. He just drifted in town and stayed all alone. He didn't say much, kind of quiet and shy. And if you spoke at all, you just said hi to Big John. Well, some people say he came from New Orleans, where he got in a fight over Cajun queens, and a crashing blow from his huge right hand sent a Louisiana fella to the promised land, Big John. All right then. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John. Bahoo, come on! Well, that came that day at the bottom of the mine when the timber gave out and men started crying. The miners were praying and hearts beat fast. Everybody knew they'd breathe their last, except John. Through the dust and the smoke of that man-made hell walked a giant of a man at the miner's new will. Grabbed a sagging timber and gave out with a groan, and like a giant oak tree just stood there alone. Big John. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John. Then with all his strength he gave a mighty shove, and then the miner yelled out, "There's a light up above." 20 men scrambled from a would-be grave. Now there's only one left down at the sea, Big John. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John. Well, with timbers and jacks, they started back down. Then came that rumble from under the ground, and the smoke and the gas bounced out of that mine. Everybody knew it was the end of the line for Big John. Well, they never did reopen that worthless pit. They just placed a marble stand in front of it. These few words are written on that stand. At the bottom of this mine lies a big, big man. Big stand. Big stand, big stand, big bad stand. Thank you all very much for coming. Really lovely seeing all your faces and all that. And catch you on the flip-flop.